The 48 Road Tour, sponsored by Fuller Heating, Air Conditioning and Plumbing, Bank Independent, and Marriott Shoals Hotel and Spa. Broadcasting live from the Shoals, you're watching WAFF 48 News in Franklin County.
Welcome to the Shoals. I'm Nolan Crane. For the next 3 days, we're going to be showing you some of the best places to come and visit here in the Shoals. We're talking about attractions. We're talking about the best place to go and eat. And we're going to kick things off right here in Franklin County. I'm here in the city of Red Bay at a location known as Bay Tree Park. It's one of the biggest landmarks here in the city. And I'm going to be anchoring with my co-anchor, Haley Baker, who is currently at Red Bay Museum. It's in honor of a country music legend. It is one of the biggest exhibits currently available for Miss Tammy Wynette. And I went over to that museum and I learned that Tammy Wynette actually wasn't born or raised here in the city of Red Bay. Haley, what can you tell us?
That is right, Nolan. She's actually from a small town in Mississippi, but she claims Red Bay as her home, and we're so excited to be inside the Red Bay Museum. They have a beautiful Tammy Wynette display, a lot of hard work into this display, and joining us now is the curator of the museum. We have Scotty Kennedy. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for coming. We're so glad to have you here.
This is an amazing display. If you're a Tammy Wynette fan, you have to come check this out. And she was called the First Lady of Country Music, and why is that?
Tammy is the First Lady of Country Music because she was the first female artist in country music to sell 1 million records. Not Loretta, Dolly, or Patsy Cline. Tammy Wynette, the First Lady of Country Music.
And they have a great display of all of her albums. Which one of these albums made her the First Lady of Country Music?
You'll see the album here that says Tammy's Greatest Hits. It includes Stand By Your Man, which of course is her greatest hit. But this Greatest Hits album made her the First Lady of Country Music.
And I grew up listening to that song, and the other one, Divorcem, that's a good one too. She's also known for her many relationships. She was married 5 times, and you all have that kind of the history of her marriages on display. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yes, Tammy was born Virginia Wynette Pugh over here in the Bounds Crossroads community, just over the state line in Mississippi. We have her husbands displayed here, actually. Upal Bird, who she had 3 daughters from. She went on to Nashville to marry Don Chappell. George Jones was her 3rd marriage, her most famous marriage, and they had 1 daughter, Georgette. After dating Burt Reynolds, she actually married another guy for a few days. It wasn't a good marriage. And she wound up marrying George Ritchie, which was her husband and manager.
So speaking of Burt Reynolds, you all have a piece of history from him and Tammy's relationship, so to speak.
Exactly. When Tammy was dating Burt, she gave his parents, for their 50th anniversary, one of her gold albums that's framed here. Has a little saying, talking about how she was proud of their marriage for 50 years, and we were able to gather this from the Burt Reynolds estate in the last couple of years.
You all have a lot of pieces in this display. What's another wow piece? I know you were talking about this dress earlier. How did you get this piece?
This dress was donated by Tammy to a charity auction, and a lady purchased it, and then she in turn put it for sale, I think on eBay. And one of our benefactors purchased this for us. It's designed by Jeff Billings, who used to work for Bob Mackie, who designed many of her dresses.
And you knew Tammy personally. You actually took some of these photos that we see behind us, and it's neat that you're now the curator. Tell people a little bit about her and how she was just on a daily basis.
Tammy was the same every time you met her. She was a sweetheart. She'd hug you and she'd kiss you and ask you how you were and your family and how was Red Bay doing. She never turned down an autograph or a picture, and she always thanked that person for asking her for it.
Well, thank you so much for letting us have a sneak peek. Come check it out. The Red Bay Museum, Tammy Wynette display. They're open Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 until 4, and they're in downtown Red Bay. We're going to toss it back to Nolan, back over in Bay Tree Park. Nolan.
Definitely a lot to see there at that museum. But if you'd rather be outdoors, tonight a small insect is going to be lighting up the caverns. WAFF 48's Chris Joseph went to Dismal's Canyon and learned more about a rare insect known as a dismalite.
There's a lot to see at Dismal's Canyon. Curving trees, giant boulders, and calm springs.
It's amazing. And the owners say it has healing powers. You can come see for yourself.
While I didn't try the Fountain of Youth, I did ask canyon biologist Brittany Slappy to show me the main attraction, the dismalites, bioluminescent insects that made the canyon a national landmark. I tagged along on a night tour to see the critters, but my camera couldn't get a shot. This photo helps, but doesn't do the international attraction justice.
People from all over the world come here. We have more people from different places in the world than we do people from locally here in Franklin County.
The tour lasted about an hour, but those wanting to explore the area can camp out or rent a cabin.
And if the outdoors wear you out, you can come back to an old-fashioned ice cream parlor.
A sweet treat to cap off one of the neatest sights in the valley. In Franklin County, Chris Joseph, WAFF 48 News.
And as you heard Chris mention, the camera could not pick up the full effect of those dismal lights. So if you want to see them in person, the biologist you heard say you should schedule your appointment soon because spots fill up fast and tours are available. And there's some more fun things to do outdoors here in Franklin County. Russellville is actually home to the annual Watermelon Festival. It draws a big crowd. Around 40,000 people visit each summer. There are arts and crafts, games, music, carnival food, and of course, watermelon. You can also win prizes for growing the best tasting, the largest. You can even dress your watermelon, and the most unusual watermelon. And coming up, Paloma Villicana will take us on a scenic horseback riding trail that lasts for several miles. It's one of the big things to do in the city of Hodges. You won't want to miss that and the other highlights here in Franklin County. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us on the 48 Road Tour right here in Franklin County. And if you want to go horseback riding, there is a place in Hodges that you need to put on your list.
That's right. Paloma Villicana made that drive to Rockbridge Canyon Equestrian Park, and she joins us now live. Paloma, how was it?
Oh, the horses were absolutely beautiful. People from across the country come out to the Rockbridge Canyon Equestrian Park. I even spoke with a local horseback rider who comes at least 3 times a week to the park, and she shares with me why she keeps on coming back.
You can ride the canyon one way and it looks, you love rock formations. You ride it back and you see it all differently. And it's about 30 miles of just beautiful, just one after another, just awesome views from the top of the canyon down to the bottoms.
The trails are breathtaking, but there's something else that might catch you by surprise when you're out riding.
The history, there's rocks with Indian heads on them. There's canyons with different colored walls.
So if you like the outdoors and a little bit of history, Rockbridge Canyon Equestrian Park is just the place for you.
That's one thing that's nice about these trails. Down in the woods, it's cool and there's lots of water, but out in the sunshine, it's hot.
She's right. It has been a little toasty out here, but I heard the best time to come out and ride is during the fall when it's a little bit cooler and the leaves have changed. What a beautiful view it could be. Reporting in Red Bay, Paloma Villicana, 48 Road Tour.
And if you were out on horseback this afternoon, it was a very, very hot day. In fact, our feels-like temperatures for all of North Alabama in the mid to upper 90s. Quick look at those feels-like temperatures here. We've got 94 right now, Russellville, 96 in Florence, and 97 in Huntsville. The countdown to fall is on, but for mid-September, things sure are toasty here. 8:54 p.m. We are just 5 days away. Fall officially starts on Saturday with the equinox. Over your next 12 hours, this is what we have for you. We are warm overnight. Stay quiet. Not a lot of rain in the forecast for the rest of your work and school week. We'll have more coming up here from Franklin County and meteorologist Brad Travis. We'll have more in forecast here in just a few minutes. And we have shown you several fun things that you can do with you and your family this weekend or next weekend, any weekend really, right here in Franklin County.
That's right. And coming up at 5, we're going to show you some can't miss eats that you have to check out if you're driving through Franklin County, and that's coming up in our 5 o'clock hour. Stay with us.
The 48 Road Tour, sponsored by Fuller Heating, Air Conditioning and Plumbing, Bank Independent, and Marriott Shoals Hotel and Spa. Broadcasting live from the Shoals. You're watching WAFF 48 News in Franklin County.
Well, welcome back to the 48 Road Tour.
And today we're in Franklin County checking out some of the best eateries this place has to offer.
That's right. From catering at a historic hotel to made-from-scratch pies, we're going to show you a slice of life right here in Franklin County.
And for several years, a lot of people here in Franklin County had to drive to the county line to get alcohol, but that all changed just a couple of years ago when residents in one city decided to go wet.
That's right. WAFF 48's Alan Stroud joins us now live to tell us, Alan, which city was this?
Hey Haley, it is a county seat, the Franklin County seat of Russellville. And as you guys just said just a moment ago, for years people went to the polls voting this to keep this a dry county. However, 8 years ago, people went back to the polls again and changed the law. In November 2010, voters in Russellville went to the polls and made history in this dry county. The final vote was very close. 52% said yes and 48% said no way. Many that live here remember life before that vote and logging extra miles to buy booze.
I was real little, but I always had to ride with my pawpaw down to Littleville, and we live out in Phil Campbell. And that's a long drive just for a little bottle. And now you ain't got to come maybe 5 minutes down the road, so it's all right. It's good. We've got different stores, so I guess they're booming and the city's making money off of it.
The mayor's office says the city is indeed seeing added revenue since the change went into effect, with an average of $200,000 per year. John Cook owns Happy Days Beverage and Tobacco near downtown. He previously worked at the Big Star Supermarket in the same shopping center. After the city went wet, he decided it was time he made a move as well.
It has really been great. It picked up really quickly for us. When we first opened, it didn't take 6 months. And we were booming. It didn't take no time.
Cook says he didn't have any type of negative reaction after opening his store at the end of 2011 and feels overall going wet was a good move for Russellville.
I can tell that it's helped the community so much. People may say some things about it, but I can tell from the tax dollars and all the construction, everything they've done, the improvements in town, downtown.
Stroll through downtown and you'll notice a former Clark's department store is being transformed into a new restaurant, Doe's Eat Place. The owner describes it as the first American-style restaurant in Russellville to serve alcohol.
We hope to do something really special here, be the best steakhouse in Alabama would be our main goal, but provide something for people here in Russellville so they don't have to leave the city. Also, to bring in money, opportunity, and somewhere for people to come from outside of the city.
Now, I'm told by the restaurant that there was one church group that had some concerns when they were going through the approval process for their liquor license. The manager of the restaurant tells me that he promised them he will be a good steward to the city. The city's bottom line here is to continue bringing in development to Russellville. Reporting live in Franklin County, Alan Stroud, WAFF 48 News.
Well, thank you, Alan. Hot temperatures here in Franklin County, mostly sunny skies right now, and a nice breeze here in Red Bay. We do have some cooler temperatures to talk about, but we're going to have to be patient and wait till the very end of our 10-day forecast. But still at the 5 o'clock hour, temperatures here in North Alabama in the low to mid-90s, and will cool off overnight only into the low to mid-70s. Looking at our first alert, Doppler radar had a couple downpours move in from the north, but mostly quiet now as we look into the Tennessee Valley. Zooming in here onto Franklin County, things are quiet here, more sunshine than anything. And again, that light breeze going a long way this afternoon, helping with some of the stickiness. Satellite and radar bringing in just a few more clouds. Quick look at your forecast for the rest of the evening. We're going to stay very warm overnight with mostly clear skies. We'll talk more about that forecast, and Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis will have another look at your 10-day. Nolan and Haley.
All right, Eric, thank you so much. Still to come, where you can find Southern charm and hospitality right here in Red Bay.
A hotel opened up in the roaring 20s, but then closed their doors in the 70s. It's now back open, and some say it's better than ever.
That's right. We're going to show you the amenities, the entertainment, and the Southern cuisine of Hotel Red Bay. Stay with us.
If you're looking for a unique place to spend the night here in Franklin County, look no further than Hotel Red Bay. It's located in the city's heart of downtown. This historic hotel recently made a grand comeback with some great Southern cooking on the side.
This has been here since 1924, closed somewhere probably in the 70s. stopped operating as a hotel anyway. And after that, there were some businesses like an insurance, maybe a dress shop that operated on the bottom floor just across the storefront.
The building fell into disrepair in the late 90s, but was purchased and renovated by Mark Dempsey, the son of a well-known Red Bay doctor. After years of structural work and remodeling, the hotel reopened in 2017 with several familiar faces making a return.
We had one couple who had spent their honeymoon here. We had another lady that she just had memories from staying. She said that she would come when she worked at the manufacturing plant, that sometimes she would buy a room for lunch like once a month and she'd just rest. I wanted to keep it a nice, cozy atmosphere, and we've tried to tie in as much history to this building as we can.
Just beyond the lobby is a restaurant appropriately titled 24 Crossroads.
And we're open from 6 o'clock in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon for breakfast and lunch.
So what's popular on the menu?
Tender, delicious hamburger steak with onions, Gouda cheese, grits. Delicious.
When I look at this building, I think about that it could have been torn down and that now it's here, it's operating again. And so it's just, Red Bay's proud of this, and I'm so proud to be a part of it.
Hotel Red Bay offers catering services thanks to the 24 Crossroads restaurant, and they'll also help you plan big events like weddings.
Sounds great. Well, still to come, we're going to introduce you to a woman who wakes up every morning at 2 a.m. to make food for her restaurant. It's a labor of love. We'll have her story right after the break. Stick around. Franklin County is full of great restaurants, but there's one in the town of Russellville unlike any other, best known for Dorothy Taylor and her homemade pies. At 83 years young, Dorothy Taylor, also known as Miss Dot, is the brains behind Taylor's restaurant.
Have we got the chicken dressing gravy?
She's at the restaurant 5 days a week and up bright and early.
I get up about 3, turn it on ovens. Then I go to put my pie shells in the oven and mixing the pies.
She makes it all, but her claim to fame, her made-from-scratch pies.
It's just something that I learned to do by myself. I have recipe books, but they didn't turn out too well, so I had to do it a little different. And everybody, says, how do you make your meringue do that? And I said, the mixer.
Her success hasn't come without struggle and heartache. This restaurant once belonged to her daughter, but after her passing, Miss Dot and her son took it over. It's remained a family business ever since.
And I said, I'll help you for a year.
Yeah.
After that, I'm retiring. But I had never got to do that. And it's turned out to be a good thing.
And she has no plans to retire anytime soon.
I never waited a table, and I bought a little restaurant downtown. That sounds pretty crazy, doesn't it? And that was a long time back. I feel good, though. Right now I'm sitting in this chair with not a pain. It's a God's blessing.
Yes.
Hasn't He been good to me?
And Haley, those pies look delicious. Did she let you try them?
Oh yeah, we tried a lot of pies. She had pecan, pumpkin, chocolate. What's your favorite pie?
Coconut cream pie, definitely my favorite.
She had that one too. She had it all, and she left us with 3 to-go boxes of food and made sure we ate. So a lot of great people, a lot of great food here in Franklin County.
And that is all the time we have to highlight some of the eateries here in Franklin County, but we will be back during the 6 o'clock show. You won't want to miss it, so stay tuned.
The 48 Road Tour, sponsored by Fuller Heating, Air Conditioning and Plumbing, Bank Independent, and Marriott Shoals Hotel and Spa. Broadcasting live from the Shoals, you're watching WAFF 48 News in Franklin County.
Well, welcome back to the 48 Road Tour. We're in Franklin County. We're actually in Red Bay today, in downtown Red Bay at Bay Tree Park.
And there is a lot to highlight, from the nightlife to hobbies, and even the schools are pretty unique.
They are unique. A lot of the students go to the same school from pre-K to 12th grade. And WAFF 48's Levi Harvey spoke to one school administrator about how unique it is to have every grade level under one roof.
Principal Ann Scott says operating a K through 12 is like having two schools in one. She says they face their challenges, but the reward is greater.
We have a great mentor system here. The teachers see the students through, and they love the students, and they want to take care of them.
Belgreen Principal Ann Scott says having every grade level in one building is an experience like no other. She says one moment you're teaching students their ABCs, and then in a blink of an eye, you're preparing those same students to go off to college.
It's wonderful. I have a teacher this year who taught a group of students in 5th grade, again in 6th grade, and now she has them in 8th grade.
Scott says teachers get the unique opportunity to follow students from beginning to end. She says students have a greater chance of success because they form relationships with teachers that help encourage them through their educational journey.
When you get them back in the fall, you basically know this child needs this, or this child needs, I know where they left. Or in my case, reading, I know where this child, I know their interest. So when I see them the next year, it's, oh, do you still like courses? Do you still like, and you just grow with them.
Scott says it's basically a one school building, but it's divided into sections. The first floor is colorful and animated for the kids. When you head upstairs, the hallways are filled with lockers and school spirit posters, just like any other high school. Scott says all of her students interact with each other. The high school kids are often seen helping their younger counterparts with class subjects and even bring them in to participate in the high school pep rally.
Elementary students get to see what the high school kids get to do. And so they kind of know, like they get to watch them, they get to watch them graduate, or they get to watch them in the hallways. You have elementary students who look up to these high school kids.
Scott says there are perks for going to a larger school and perks for going to a smaller school. She says her school has a little over 500 students. She says the school operates like a family. If something is wrong, we help solve the problem. She says the connection creates a safer place for the students.
I think that going to a K-12 school, you can't beat it. I think it's wonderful. And I think the Belgreen High School is a wonderful place to have your children.
Principal Scott says despite the challenges of poverty and funding most rural schools face, her students continue to perform well academically. In Franklin County, Levi Harvey, WAFF 48 News.
This beautiful area right behind me here in Red Bay is known as Bay Tree Park. It's one of the landmarks of this city, and the reason why it looks so good, just like the rest of this city, is thanks to members of the Red Bay Garden Club. And I had the pleasure and opportunity to talk to some lifelong members. Rosalind Fabianchi's passion for gardening keeps her busy, but it's her pride for the city of Red Bay that has her out here tending to these plants as a lifelong member of the Garden Club.
I love to garden, and I love the people that were in the garden club, so they invited me to come, and I joined in September of that year of 1978 and been a member for 40 years.
When you drive in the city of Red Bay, this beautiful landscaped area with the gazebo will catch your eye. Rosalind and the other Garden Club members were part of the planning committee that made this project possible.
We feel like we are here to nurture God's beautiful world, and you look around and you just see a beautiful town and so much pride.
There are 20 members of the Red Bay Garden Club, and the mayor is one of them.
It sends a statement not only for our citizens but our visitors that we care about our city. And we take much pride in our community.
The Garden Club has big projects on their agenda, and Mayor Charlene Fancher is trying to recruit more people.
We're taking members. You don't have to be a female to be a member of the Red Bay Garden Club. We welcome men. We could use some strong men to be in the Garden Club.
When the Garden Club first started 80 years ago, they planted these trees on Main Street, which created a canopy. As you can see, some of the trees died, and now the Garden Club is doing what they can to bring back the area's beauty by replanting.
We've had to cut some of those treasured older trees, but they will be replenished, and it will not too long, it will be hopefully another canopy. It's still very beautiful, but it's just needing to have some regrowth.
These plants, trees, and landmarks are beautiful, but members of the Garden Club say the story they tell is about everyone here in Red Bay.
Red Bay is about our people. We're all about working together, teamwork. The Red Bay Garden Club, all of our civic organizations are a part of that. They make Red Bay what it is and who it is today.
Most of the money the Garden Club uses for their projects comes from fundraisers, and their biggest fundraiser is actually a plant sale that students at the school are in charge of, and that big event takes place every April.
All right, very good. Well, still to come, we're going to take you to a piece of Russellville history, a 1940s movie theater in downtown. It fell on hard times, but now it's got a second chance of life.
And we're going to be talking to one volunteer that keeps that theater running, and the venue is now used for live music and live performances. It's really a great way to bring the whole community together and spend a fun evening. We will be right back with that story.
Well, good Tuesday evening, everyone, and welcome back to the 48 Road Tour live here in Red Bay in Franklin County. A hot day here in Franklin County and a hot day all across the Tennessee Valley. Now, the heat's going to stick around for the next couple of days, but like Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis was talking about just a little bit ago, we do have a cool down in sight. The Roxy Theater, a historic theater built back in the 1940s, now the crown jewel of Russellville here in Franklin County. You could drive down Jackson Avenue, see the bright lights at night. We've got Susie Malone with us, and Susie, it used to be an old movie theater. Now you guys are kind of tiptoeing into more live entertainment. Tell us a little bit about the Roxy.
The theater was actually built in 1949 and served as a movie theater till about the mid-70s. During that time, it did run down a good bit, and the local businessman who purchased that donated it to the Roxy. And, well, not the Roxy, donated the Roxy to the Arts Council. And the Arts Council has worked laboriously for a number of years trying to restore that because it was in a lot of disarray. And we've had an opportunity through grants, our local legislators like Roger Bedford and Johnny McMorrow, who have been very helpful to us in securing money to restore this theater. We now serve, it does still serve as a theater, and we show the classic movies, but our biggest performance each month, Kerry Gilbert and his band and guests, they appear at the Roxy and put on an outstanding show. The upcoming event that we have coming in November, which starts November the 30th and goes through December the 2nd, is the Toyland production. And this is viewed, last year we had to 75 to 8,000 people to come to see this. We're planning on having 14 shows, and it's outstanding, and we want you all to come and enjoy it again this year.
Absolutely. Well, keep up the great work at the Roxy. Really quick, if people want more information, where can they go?
Go to the historicroxytheater.com.
Thank you so much, and keep up the good work. Looking forward to your Christmas show. All right, Nolan and Haley.
All right, Eric, thank you. Sounds like a great place to catch a movie. And if you missed any of the stories that we did today, if you want to share them on Facebook, you can also go check them out on the First Alert News app and on WAFF.com.
And tomorrow at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock, we're going to be in Colbert County as the 48 Road Tour continues.
A lot of good music. It's going to be fun. We'll see you tomorrow.